this week, you may have heard that Michael Douglas claimed that Val Kilmer was suffering from the same form of throat cancer that he himself battled in 2010. This was during a question and answer session that occurred in London. Referring to when they worked together, Douglas said, "Val was a wonderful guy who is dealing with exactly what I had, and things don't look too good for him. My prayers are with him. That's why you haven't heard too much from Val lately." Before we get into this, I do want to then update this story because Val Kilmer responded via a Facebook post on Tuesday night saying, "I love Michael Douglas, but he is misinformed. The last time I spoke to him was almost 2 years ago when I asked him for a referral to a specialist to get a diagnosis for a lump in my throat, which prevented me from continuing on a tour of my play, Citizen Twain. I ended up using a team at UCLA and have no cancer whatsoever." My first thought when I heard all these stories is, in medicine, we have HIPAA, where your health information is yours, it's private, you do what you want with it. Unfortunately, HIPAA doesn't always apply to Hollywood innuendo. And this was one of those stories when it came out. We even talked about it on the show because it was such a big story when Michael Douglas said this initially. But I hate when this happens.
And we try to be so sensitive to this on the show because we talk about celebrity illnesses, other famous people illnesses, and we always preface that like we don't have all the information and we're not sure if in fact they have this, but let's talk about this condition in general. And that's...
Yeah, I was very surprised Michael Douglas brought this up.
Well, he was talking out of school.
Like Drew just said, we're going to transition to talking about the illness in general. So let's talk about head and neck cancer.
Well, head and neck cancer, you know, something that I trained in, and this is what Michael Douglas went through. He had laryngeal cancer, primary cancer of the larynx, the vocal cords, the voice box. It presented on him as hoarseness, and I think a sore throat. He ended up going through the process of radiation, as we know, and is doing well.
So in terms of head and neck cancer, 80% of all of these cancers are due to alcohol or tobacco use. Then the next contenders are human papilloma virus, so HPV.
Which exactly, that the increase in HPV cases is showing an increase in head and neck cancers, all types, laryngeal cancer, oral cavity, base of tongue, all of those types of oral cancers are increasing because of the HPV crisis.
Right, and it's a really fatal cancer. Yeah. The 5-year survival is only 50%.
Yeah, and so. A number of people in Hollywood, I know Sammy Davis succumbed to laryngeal cancer, and I know there's others. But in the case of Val Kilmer, he may have had some other presentation in his throat.
He said it was a swollen tongue. He had a swollen tongue, and it's been treated.
Well, and
well, at the end of the day, whatever like, you know, whatever it was or is, you know, that's his medical issue that he can deal with. However,
it shouldn't be made public by anyone.
Well, and he did make it public that he had an issue, something that concerned him. He sought help because you do want to make sure it's not.
But in Hollywood, Drew, what happens a lot of times before we move on is that people will go to a clinic and they'll be photographed there. And so keeping your health information private as a Hollywood star is very difficult. Anytime you see anyone leaving any clinic in LA or a hospital, there are paparazzi there and they're flashing their cameras, getting pictures. Then it's online. Then, of course, the questions are, what's going on?
Which doctor did they go to in this building? And why did they do that? Oh, she's pregnant. Oh, you know.
Well, heck, I was leaving LAX, or I landed at LAX the other day, and someone brought a camera up to me and started talking about someone being pregnant. You know me, I'm not all that.
Congratulations. No, good.
Are you the father?
Am I showing already? But it just struck me how much people's privacy is compromised, and the one area where I don't think we should compromise it is when you're dealing with a health problem. So whatever is going on with Val Kilmer, whatever it may be, we obviously wish both he and Michael Douglas all the best.